What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to another day in the BrewLab. It's me, Lone Fox, your Brewmaster-in-Chief. Today, I'm coming at you with two decks that I'm calling either Horror Tribal or Horror Tribe or Horrific Counters. And there's two versions, v.2, v.1. We're going to test them both out, see which one is better. They're both attempting to find a home for this card, Grakmaw. I was so stoked when I saw this card in previous seasons for Zendikar Rising. I was just like, yes, cool. Golgari counters. It's like one of my favorite color combinations, and I really love counters decks. So I was just like, gonna go off with this thing. But it's just in such an awkward position on the curve. There's so many other of the good counters cards in green and in black that are on the same spot. And I tried various things with Nissa. I don't know if any of you guys have been following me on either hub even further than before I started the channel, but I had one called Grakmaw that came out really well with Abzan when we still had triomes, and I was playing the Moth and Grakmaw and Basri's Lieutenant and stuff. It was pretty cool, but it was never quite like a top deck. It was just mostly crappy jank. And today I'm wanting to see if this is finally the home for Grakmaw. They've been like teasing us with these horrors. There's been one or two of them popping up every now and again, and finally now in Standard 22 there's three of them that all line up really nicely on the curve, which tops out at Froghemoth, which is himself a frog horror. So this deck today is Hydras, cats, and frogs. All horrors, okay? The Skyclave Shadowcat also came out at the same time as Grakmaw. Because it was a horror, same creature type, it had to do with counters. I kind of like knew that they intended these, at least in limited, to be played together. Okay, so let me tell you why. Then I'll describe the rest of the deck, give you a little bit of a, run through of the various playlines that we can expect to get, and I'll probably do a very quick one because I have two decks to show you, and then, or I'll probably show you the second deck when we play it. So I'm going to play like maybe 2-3 games with this one. I'm going to switch to the other one, and then I'll quickly describe that one before we jump into the games. They're very similar, so there won't be much explaining required. So when Grakmaw enters the battlefield, it enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters, so it comes in as a 3/3. And then whenever another creature you control dies, if it had a +1/+1 counter on it, you put another +1/+1 counter on Grakmaw. When he dies, you create an XX black and green Hydra creature token where X is the number of +1/+1 counters that were on it. So it's this kind of like removal protection, sweeper protection. Even if you've built it up nice and big, they sweep the board, token comes back that's the size of the one that got swept, and you can still swing in for the kill. That's kind of the idea behind the card, right? Why I say it synergizes really well with the other horror, the Skyclave Shadowcat. Also, they both have Skyclave in the name. It was quite obvious. And they look quite similar with these spiky things. This card is also pretty cool, and it acts in this deck as the card draw engine because it says that whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it dies, you draw a card. And it has a static ability that says that you can pay 2 without tapping and sacrifice another creature. And then you plug a +1/+1 counter on Skyclave Shadowcat. So it can be any creature, it doesn't have to be one with a +1/+1 counter on it, and then straight away Skyclave himself will also have +1/+1 counter, and you can grow it that way. So the cool little things that I have going with this sacrifice and the Grakmaw is, first of all, Feign Death. Okay, this is a really cool little one in a series of these effects that have been printed in the last 3 sets, where you can target a creature and then just before it dies, it comes back to the battlefield. This one only costs 1, first of all. It's instant speed, second of all. It doesn't have any downside. The only downside is that it comes back into play tapped, okay? But with a +1/+1 counter on it, so it kind of fits the whole theme of the deck. And what you can do is this. You cast Feign Death on turn 4 on your Grakmaw. So now you've got enough mana to also pay the 2, sacrifice it, okay? It dies, it makes a token the size that it was when it died. It comes straight back onto the battlefield with a bigger than it was when it left. Oh no, in that case it'll come back as a 1/1. Okay, because I think no, it comes back as a 4/4. Okay, and then you've grown your Skyclave Shadowcat, and you draw a card. It's like quite a good amount of value out of a single 3-mana play. One Feign Death, one activation on Skyclave. You get Grakmaw back, a token, a card, and a token on and a counter on the Shadowcat, all for 3 mana. I think that's a really nice little play that you would like to try and obtain at least once. And you can do a similar thing with Deadly Dispute, where you put Feign Death on any one of your creatures, and then Deadly Dispute. So you get it back, and it comes back with a counter, and you get to draw 2 cards, and you create a treasure token. So there's a lot of cool little ways of drawing and creating value from sack triggers off of the Skyclave Shadowcat or off of the Deadly Dispute. This is the version of the deck that has more sort of like 2 and 1-ofs, little tweaky cards here and there that are, you know, you probably won't be top decking them often. It's different from my usual type of deck where I have a lot of 4/4/4/4/4, and I just want to like be sure to always draw the cards that I need to showcase the deck's potential. And then I know that most people are going to copy that and make little adjustments. This is that type of one. I spent a lot more time tweaking the numbers, up 1, down 1, put some of this in, we don't have enough removal. And this is the v.1 is that one. v.2 you'll see is the more cookie cutter for everything, more streamlined. We'll see which one of the two is actually better for this particular type of game that we're trying to go for. But other things that have to do with +1/+1 counters. Okay, we've got Swarm Shambler, which acts as another sort of little bit of protection to all your creatures that have +1/+1 counters, because it enters the battlefield with 1 itself, and whenever any creature you control with a counter on it becomes target of a spell an opponent controls, you create a 1/1 green insect token. So cool, another little bit of protection. It's also a good 1-drop, and you can grow it. You can pump some mana into it when you've got nothing better to do. So was, I thought, a pretty obvious addition. Bloodchief's Thirst, one of the best removal spells in the format right now. Had to have 3 copies. There was 4, but I kind of was trimming things down just a little bit. I ended up like removing 1 to put in an additional copy of Soul Shatter to bring it up to 2, so we can get Goldspan Dragon occasionally. Then the Froghemoth, also +1/+1 counters. Okay, Trample, Haste, 4/4, comes in, costs the same as a Goldspan Dragon. You can swing in straight away. If they don't block it, and even if it has trample and they block it with something that isn't going to completely kill it, then you get through for any bit of damage. Okay, you exile that many target cards from their graveyards. So if you get in for the full 4, you exile 4 cards from their graveyard, and you can choose anything you want if they've got a big graveyard. And if you exile creatures, Froghemoth gets a +1/+1 counter on him for each of those creatures. If you exile spells, then you gain life for each one of those creatures. So a little bit of sneaky life gain stashed away in Froghemoth in a deck that needs it very often. So keep that in mind. Sometimes it's more important to select their non-creatures and gain some life rather than growing the Froghemoth. Or maybe just 1 counter and then the rest life, And then the bigger it grows, the more that effect gets bigger. So if they've, there's a lot of decks that this hits like big time. All those discard decks and stuff, you can like get all of their cards out of their graveyard before they can reanimate them. They're reanimator and all that kind of stuff. So really, really nice. Then there's a sneaky 1-off, Vorinclex, here on the top end, together with Harness Infinity for 7 mana. Obvious inclusion, I think, and as a 1-off is fine, I think. I wouldn't want to put any more. It's just like if you cap into top deck this in the late game, like all your stuff that's growing with counters grows twice as fast, and it's anyway just a 6/6 hasty trampler, so another hasty. And the last card, which is really the one that made this all finally come together, is Ranger Class. Okay, because the other, previous standard, I was trying to obtain a similar effect on the Grakmaw growing every turn, or everything else growing every turn when you attack, with the Ooze guy. What's his name? Is it Shambling Ooze? Anyway, there's the Ooze that whenever you attack, everything that has a +1/+1 counter gets a +1/+1 counter. It is a better effect than Ranger class because you can only target one of your attacking creatures with Ranger class, but it's a 2-drop instead of being a 3-drop, so it's not clashing with Grakmaw, and it makes a wolf token when it comes into play, and you can level it up and start casting stuff off the top of your library at level 3, which is a great little bit of additional card draw in the deck. Once again, that struggles a little bit with it because you've got to go do all these finicky sacrifice things to get the card draw going. So sometimes it's nice to just be able to draw your first card at the beginning of the turn, and then you can start casting things off your from the top of your library and still have that card in your hand if it's removal or something like that. So very nice. Ranger class, and then the sneaky little 2 of that you wouldn't expect to be in here. I'm not going to top deck it often, and then suddenly you do, and you put this even down, even if you don't kick it, even if you just play this for 2 mana. Gnarlid Colony says that each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has trample. So not only does Froghemoth have trample, but suddenly all of your other creatures that have grown and that have +1/+1 counters on them all have trample, and even if they have a couple blockers, they've been surviving with chump blocking. You just get through for the final damage as a sneaky sort of game-ending play. You just jam a Gnarlid Colony down turn 8 or something and get through for trample. So I really liked the sneaky little 2 of in there. And last but not least, Harness Infinity. Just any Golgari deck I'm playing now has at least 1 or 2 copies of this in it. At some point late in the game, you top deck this, you're loving life. You just bring your entire graveyard back from your graveyard into your hand. You do it on their end step at instant speed. You begin the turn with your entire graveyard in your hand. That usually, is pretty game ending. And then also a sneaky one of Agadeem's Awakening. Just if you, as a way to get your stuff back. If you can't use Feign Death, which can also be used in a similar way, if you're not using it to do the sacrifice little tricks that I mentioned earlier, you can use it in the similar way that you would use Snakeskin Veil. 1 mana, instant. Okay, Snakeskin Veil puts a counter, so does Feign Death, and then Snakeskin Veil just gives Hexproof, which means their spell fizzles. This just means their spell gets through, but it's wasted because your creature comes back anyway. So very similar role to Snakeskin Veil. But if you don't save all your creatures, or they've got sweepers and that kind of stuff, then you top deck a sneaky Agadeem's Awakening late game. You can cast it for 7 and get your Shadowcat, your Grakmaw, a Gnarlid Colony, and the Swarm Shambler, because we've got stuff, creatures at every point along the curve, which is great. For 7, you get 4 creatures on the field. That's pretty damn good. For 8, you can get Froghemoth as well, I think. Yeah. So, that would be an incredible play as well. With haste, amazing. Anyway, so that's the deck. That's V1. Standard mana base. Just going to play this in ranked, of course. Standard mana base for my Golgari decks. Just 2 campuses, 4 snarls, 4 pathways, and 7 of each basic. Right, before the game starts, if I could ask you all kindly, if you haven't done so already and you like this type of content, to consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out. Thank you. And of course, like the video and leave me some comments down below, like which of these 2 versions do you think is the best one? What changes would you make to the deck if you were playing it? That sort of stuff. I always like to hear that stuff. I've had a couple of nice exchanges with some of my viewers on older videos of mine that have made me just like so happy. So happy. Alright, off you go, buddy. We don't want you ramping anything. Let's just grow that rather. He wasn't gonna attack with it. He's just gonna tap it to make tokens. I'm pretty sure. He's probably like, Grakmaw? No one plays this crap. Haven't seen that card in yonks. Horror Tribal. If we top deck another land, we can play the Skyclave Shadowcat, which is just a great turn for play. Damn it. That's not bad either, though. Epic. Epic. Sorry, Julius. I bet you that hurt real bad. Oh well. Awful. Can if we don't play the Skyclave, we can level up the Ranger class. Also nice. Pity he had that one. Cheeky. Come on, deck. I need my 4th land. Woo! Imagine we were curving out Froghemoth next. That would have been GG. Okay, so he's got a counter probably. Let's just play out this. I mean, oh, nice. There's many things with counters on them so that they have the Swarm Shambler protection. Is he also running Feign Death? No. Just tapping for a treasure. Oh, we're in sweeper territory. Yep. Knew it. I had a feeling. Just not getting our freaking lands. It's just the worst thing ever. Dude, seriously, man? Really? Oh, he's still almost dead. Down to 1. Oh. Okay. Okay. What you got? What you got? Got him. Got him. Game 1. Pretty good. So far, so good. Hey, Billy. Welcome to the stream, brother. Good to have you. Epic games earlier. Well, like for me, mostly. I'm so sorry. You got, but yeah, mostly epic deck ideas. That was really cool. Like, I had not thought of using that. I'm not even going to say what it is. It'll be our little secret. But you guys can watch tomorrow's video to check that out, because that was a good idea that I had not thought about. Like, Billy is one of my oldest viewers. Got me thinking about teleportation circle a few days ago. I'm sure you guys heard, if anybody's already watched some of my clips from the last few days. Billy and I are always talking on the channel. There is, I hadn't made a teleportation circle deck yet, and so I jumped down that rabbit hole, and I tried something similar to what he first showed me with the Elite Spellbinder, that sort of stuff, and cool, but not that cool, and I was kind of already gonna get it ready to give up on that card, and then yeah, then this idea came along about, and I was like, So yeah, pretty excited to give it a try tomorrow. I hope I'm not like spoiling one of your combos, Billy, but that's a seriously good idea, brother. I want to try that out. Oh, green rampy dudes. Can we get around this guy? Can we get around you? Okay, block. That's nice. I think we can go Soul Shatter. No. We can go level 2 and boom. Gnarlid Colony. Everybody gets trampled. Ooh, the double block. Very nice. Free. I'm okay with that. It's like your token and your life gain. He's probably got another in his hand. Double range class. Yeah. That's what I thought, bro. What you got, man? I thought there's nothing green has at instant speed that can do anything about that coming into play. He's maybe got a snakeskin veil. Thank God Blizzard Brawl isn't. Yeah, thank God Blizzard Brawl isn't instant speed. That will be busted as fuck. Blink creatures to bring familiars up plus blinking keeper. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And if you got multiple blinkers, and like I'm trying to figure out like maybe where I would fit in like 1 or 2 copies of Semester's End in that blink deck, Billy, so that at some point then you blink everything and it all comes back as +1/+1 counters for like a game-ending blow. Like maybe 2 copies of Semester's End in there somewhere might be a really cool idea. This guy is having a brain fart, or his internet died or something. Oh, the salty rope. Oh, the salty rope. Come on, dude. I went full Witherbloom on their ass. Witherbloom, pest dude. Oh! Witherbloom, this guy, Witherbloom sleeps. The full Shazambo. I think he's probably, either he's roping me, or his internet dropped. In which case, sorry for calling you a roper. It's amazing that this only costs 2 to do. He could drop a land, I'd do it twice. I mean, it's just, this card is so busted. Ranger class is incredibly good. It's probably in the top 3 of the best cards from AFR, in my opinion. Top 3, top 4. How good is this Gnarlid Colony in here? Everybody's got trample. You got trample. You got trample. Now, if he kills any of my creatures that have +1/+1 counters, okay, I mean he's not there, so who cares? But then Grakmaw would grow, and I would get a little insect from the Shambler. So it's just a nice little package here. Finally. And Froghemoth to top it off is just such a nice like game end, and the fact that it was like fitting into the tribe just made me like, you know, I'm a huge tribal deck junkie. I can find a nice little tribe that kind of like fits together like that. I get super excited. And then we've got 2 beasts. Fungus beast and a beast. And we win. Salty Roper. Alright. We're going to do a third game with the deck, and then we're going to switch to version 2. And I'll tell you, see what you mean. I think you'll see what I meant when I said that it's the more streamlined, less little weird one-offs. It's just trying to do the horrors thing. And there's yeah, anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. One more game with v.1. That's alright. Who cares? I wanna, you know, it's nice to have Agadeems available as an option. I'm gonna play this as a green. No, play the green as green. Okay, no, we've got 2 of these. That's fine. The Charger. Goblos. Oh, Gobos. Freaking Gobos. Ooh. Nice. Why you always keep your basics when you're playing Snarls, because you're gonna draw a Snarl and then you're gonna be bummed. It's probably the no white mana balanced deck. You just use the okay, he does have some pathways in there. You cast it organically. Yeah. There's the typical sort of treasure package, and then he's probably going to try and cast that one spell. What's it called? Like the Avatar of something. That big. When it comes into play, you have to sacrifice something. God, this is going to be bad. And then every time it attacks, you get 3 damage, and it's like a 3/6 haster. The something awakening. Say. Blood awakening. Okay, so he's pumping out the little freaking charger. It's not nice. And then what? He's gonna sack it and do 2 damage to my Shambler, and draw 2 cards and make a treasure token. The pest option instead. Very nice little play pattern there. This guy is on it. Kill this thing now. Get too big. And then the Bloodchief's Binding of the Old Blood Kalane. Got nothing to put counters on down. Could have a Goldspan Dragon now though. Yeah. Alright, we've got a second binding, which is why I let that happen. Doesn't seem to be anything blue, although it could actually have Sword coming right now in his hand. This. Save the binding. This is another situation where, like in a deck that doesn't play green or blue, you could save the gold span with that card. He's gonna instead, but if you have that Feign Death and you cast it on your gold span, you get another token and another treasure because you're targeting it with one of your spells. Oh gosh, there it is. The Awaken the Blood Avatar. That's the one I was trying to say. Nice deck. Really nice. Well played. That's like... I've been trying to make this one as well a few times. Really, really well made deck you got there, buddy. My triggers go off first. Before he can, you know, if he does double block, do 2 damage to me. No. Nice. Let's go for the life gain. Gain 4. Goldspan. Rick DLT. Rickdult. Aha. Very nice little play there, brother. He's a lucky. I think we're screwed, guys. Like Malkir Awakening the Fireblade Charger. Put another counter. Is it, yeah, could have. And then, oh no, doesn't kill it. It's just when it dies. Okay. Nice deck, dude. Really nice. Handling Ghast. I'm gonna copy you at some point. Nice that they fixed the assistant, the MTGA assistant, which I haven't shouted out yet this round, but yeah. Check it out. MTGA assistant, just Google it. They haven't put the 2022 play queue in yet, but it does track your decks at least again. Okay, we're dead anyway, but yeah, let's just play out the hand just for fun. Oh yeah, that Goldspan was exiled, not revealed. For crying out loud. But, good game. Take my hat off to you, sir. You probably even had like a sneaky 2 copies of Valky somewhere in there as well. What a nice deck. Really, I'm impressed. I wish I could snipe his whole list. That was really nice. Congratulations for not being a boring, normal Goldspan Dragon deck with something a little bit more creative. With Extus. Alright, so 2 wins, 1 loss. Horror Tribe, version 1. Weird little outliers like Gnarlid Colony. We didn't draw Vorinclex. There's 1 Harness Immunity in there. These little I think nice little plays. We didn't get to showcase all of them. I'm a bit strapped for time. We're running close to the hour. If there's some spare time, I'll jump back and play another game with v.1. But I really want to show you the second one here. Which is, like I said, the more streamlined one. Okay? And it's featuring this ramp package that we're all getting to love in this game. In black, which is Shambling Ghast, Deadly Dispute. Okay, then we've got 4 copies Bloodchief's Thirst, 4 copies Poison the Cup as our removal instead of the Binding of the Old Gods. Then we're running again Ranger class, 4 copies, Broken Wings, couple for enchantments because we've now gotten rid of Binding of the Old Gods. We can't use it on to get rid of enchantments, so this is our only way of getting enchantments. And then I love this card, it's very versatile. You can also hit angels and dragons with it, especially. Then the same Grakmaw, but then it went, I'm just going 4-4-4. There's only 12 creatures in the whole deck, and then that's allowing me to run 2 Harness Infinities instead of 1. So you're really just trying to like slam, ramp with this combo, put a Ranger class, it's trying to get the thing done much quicker without any weird little one-off things. You're always going to be drawing pretty much what you need more consistently. It's all just 4-ofs and just this, sneaky 2 of Harness Infinity, same exact mana base. Hope that makes sense. Sacrifice the Shambling Ghast, Deadly Dispute, turn 3 you can cast Froghemoth, and then you can, just go from there. Or if you don't get that combo in your hand, you can do the usual sort of turn 1, turn 2, There's, you know, the Gnarlid Colony is pretty crucial though for that trample. So this one is more reliant on Froghemoth, in my opinion. Okay. Okay. I'll keep that. In case we draw a Snarl, go and play your Swarm. The art pathway is so beautiful. Rather than play out the Skyclave, maybe kill the, you know, whatever he plays next. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna take, how much is it? 1 damage or 2 when it's in the graveyard? 2 damage. Not looking good. Not looking good at all. Giants is good. It's, you know, in this queue, people have forgotten a little bit about it. It's having a tiny bit of a revival moment, similar to what the Angels did. Like, just because Eldraine rotated out, suddenly it's just quite a bit better. Even though they lost Bone Crusher, it's actually not having to have Bone Crusher Giant in the 3-drop slot has made it a little bit more different. And I'm liking what I see. I might actually give Giants another attempt and see if like there's any cool new cards to slot in from Strixhaven and AFR. Nice. Ouch. That becomes 4 every time. Where's my removal at? We need to get this Calamity Bearer out of here. This game is bye-bye. Okay. Just putting more of these in the graveyard. Does this happen like for each one? So if you have 2 Quakebringers in the graveyard, it does it again. That doesn't swing. Very cautious. And he can just chill and kill me that way. Good game. This is a crazy deck. If you don't have removal at the right time, very nice. Now this just bounces everything, and then he swings in for like 12. I'll let him finish it. Well done, Lakeway. Epic win, brother. Or sister. That was proper epic. I've got to try it. Okay, I've got my schedules busy now. I'm going to try Billy's teleportation deck and then I'm going to try this new and improved Giants. They've got one of the best sweepers in Standard left. I kind of prefer v.1, guys. Gotta tell you. Kind of prefer v.1. A little bit more versatile. I also find when you have 3 obs and 2 obs, you kind of draw, I don't know, the algorithm responds differently. You don't get stuff like this happening. That's okay. Brute Boss. Pardon me. See, that's the problem with having too many 4-obs in a deck. The shuffler does this crap to you then. It's really frustrating. Last game, no removal. This game, only removal. Alright. Hey Greg, I'm streaming, bro. Greg's my good buddy over at Burning Tempest. I've been asked, or I have accepted the offer to join the admin crew on that Facebook group. It's still super small and tight-knit, and like, you know, there's none of that like horrible bitching and you know, name calling from all the bigger groups. It's just like really nice, friendly people. There's a good group chat. Everyone's sharing deck ideas. I highly recommend you check them out. Check us out. I'll be the one approving your your request to join the group. Here comes the combo. This card is everywhere now. It's so freaking good. Can't believe it's a common. I should have given that uncommon. Here comes Goldspan. Barf. Get the shots. I like the idea of playing another Rangers class and leveling it up straight away because we have 4 mana. It's the play I discussed from the previous game when we were playing against it. I'm gassed. It's a little bit frustrating. The blocker there in the way of my wolf. Opponent. Village rights, perhaps. Okay. The big wolf. Ravager, most certainly. Okay, he's got Faceless Haven. He's got 2 Faceless Havens. But we've already like used one of our only answers to that card. 3 more in the deck. Bloodchief's Thirst is not instant speed, so just be aware of that, of course. Hey, welcome back, Billy. Man, I miss my dog so much. I left her in Indonesia. She's an old sausage. Had her since she was a puppy. Used to sleep in bed with me every single night until I had kids and got married and stuff. And then, but still, even slept at the base of my bed. Ooh. Such a sweetheart, and I haven't seen her in a little under a year now. She's getting old. This pandemic is keeping me away from my kid, my first kid, hairy one. That is a nice little interaction right there. Very nice. More and more Exodus treasury stuff happening. I'm kind of into it. Okay. Time to put our Bloodchief's Thirst to good use. Swing in for a buttload of damage. Whew. 2 little wolfies doing the deed. Play your gold span. I got a Bloodchief's Thirst for you. Anyway, you can't attack with it. Otherwise, you've got no blockers. We've got him. No, we don't. That sucks. Alright. Let's get rid of you. No, we save that for the other guy. Ooh. Froghemoth sitting there nicely on top for the next turn. If he does swing in, we win. I hope he gets like tempted. He probably doesn't think we have anything of, you know, with haste. The double swing. Sorry, buddy, we win. Terribly sorry. It's Froghemoth. It's gonna get 2 counters. We've got the mana to cast it. Ah, yes, baby. It's possible. Ooh, baby. That was a sweet ass win. That was a sweet ass win. Just replying to Greg Pick. Okay, last game with the version 2. Then we can have a little discussion. Maybe take some things from the one, take some things from the other, merge them into one deck, and then just remove the v.1s, v.2s, and that'll be the one that I'm uploading to either hub and that I'll be putting in the comments down below so that you guys can copy it. So far, I'm feeling v.1 a little better. It's a little bit more versatile, but I do like this Shambling Gas taking Dispute ramp. So who knows? Not the nicest of sleeves in my opinion. Horde Robber. Thiefling Rogue. Meh. Mostly draft crap. Okay, let's do this. It's gonna make a treasure, but that's okay. Maybe shouldn't have attacked with the Shambling Ghast. Making a mistake there. Play out the Skyclave Now if he uses the priest to kill the bigger threat, which I would do if I was him. Ooh! What? Interesting. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, he's got another land. That's terrible. You can kill the Skyclave Shadowcat. Yeah. Ay caramba. No! The wrong target. Oh. No. I was supposed to hit this huge swarm. That was terrible. Terrible, terrible misplay. 4-5. Okay. Finding. Okay. This is the times when you get to use Brave the Stench instead of Bloodchief's Thirst, one of them, so she can't activate, or he can't activate it. Alright, so I mean, pretty good overall. I think we lost one game in 6. So five wins, 1 loss with 2 different decks. I think that's proves definitely that there's something here, something to this. We're approaching the 1 hour mark, so let's quickly go and jump back into the deck builder and have a look and see. I'll just quickly kind of, because I'm essentially I love having this channel because I get to discuss out loud my own decks to myself and to you guys, and I learn as well as you, and that's pretty cool. So like talking through my plays like this when I'm on on a stream and I'm not just sitting quietly and thinking about them, it kind of makes it better for me. I play better when I'm on stream. So this is v.2, the one we just played, okay? I think the biggest problem that it has is that eventually you might run into, let's say, mono white weenies, or like just then with Scoot Swarm or something where they have a bunch of chump blockers. The only card with trample is Froghemoth. We have no other way of getting through. There's no sweepers, so we can't sweep and then Froghemoth or something. And there's no way of giving anything flying, so it's a little bit like harder to get the win just off of your creatures attacking. But because they get so big, and it's not just 12 creatures, but it's essentially 16 because Ranger class makes those wolves. You saw how good those wolves were in those last couple of games. I mean, they really just won the game for us before we even drew a Grakmaw or any of the other cards, to be honest. And the fact that this deck allows me, because it doesn't have some of those other weird 1 and 2 ops who run this little Shambling Gas Deadly Dispute combo to ramp up into a play and draw some cards in essential moments in the game, does make me feel like this is a very good version of it. I would really, really love to see what my viewers come up with if you copy this, and because this is like the template. Okay, maybe minus Harness Infinity if you're not into that. Maybe I don't know, but then you come back at me and let me know what changes did you make. I always want to know. You can always trim down one Froghemoth, put in a Vorinclex. Trim down a few removal spells, but then you need them those freaking removal spells are important. There's a lot of creature decks in the meta right now. Is Broken Rings the right card in here to make sure that we don't get Goldspan Dragon? Is 2 copies enough when you're playing decks that always run 4 copies of Goldspan Dragon? Some questionable matchups. I think we might have just gotten a little lucky in those last couple of games. But whereas V1, it's a little bit more trying to be everywhere. There's multiple win cons, ways to restack the board that are kind of essential, ways to save your creatures with Feign Death. I don't know. The sneaky one of Vorinclex that you occasionally top deck, and then once you've got like a few level 2 ranger classes in play and you attack with Vorinclex, it becomes like a 10-10 with trample and haste straight away as you drop it, and you've still got like other tramplers up, and the Gnarlid Colony that you drop towards the end of the game and give all your creatures trample to. This version is also really, really cool, and we do have a bit of other kind of weird rampy stuff going on in card draw with Feign Death, Deadly Dispute, Skyclave, Cat, things like I described. So this one's definitely like a little bit more complex. You got to think a little bit harder. It's a little bit more varied and I think more rounded out deck. And to be honest, I don't think I would take anything from v.2 and smash it into here or vice versa. The only thing I can think of is, get rid of Feign Death and put in the Shambling Ghast, 3 copies, and then you just have 3 and 3 instead of 4 and 4 on the other deck. And the fact that you have Soul Shatter in here to hit the Goldspan Dragon as a 2-of again, instead of the, what's it called? Broken Wings. But then you can also kill the Goldspan Dragon with many other things. And, Binding of the Old Gods isn't just for killing Goldspan Dragons, it kills freaking everything. Anything. Destroy target non-land permanent. The only thing this won't kill is a Shire and a land. So, and then Agadeem's Awakening, 1 Harness Infinity. Instead of having 2 Harness Infinity, you just have 1 Agadeem's 1 Harness. Kind of doing the same thing, bringing everything from the graveyard, 1 to the battlefield, 1 back to your hand. I think this is the better version, to be honest. This is the one I'm going to upload to either hub. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video. I think we've come close to the hour mark. I will be coming at you tomorrow, of course, like every day, with some fresh brews. I'm leaving Îles-sur-la-Sorgue, this lovely little town we've been in for the last 4 nights, and this lovely fiber optic connection that I've gotten to use in this Airbnb, and we're going back to my mother-in-law's house in Nice for 1 night before then heading back to my family house in Italy the day after. So a little bit of road movement again over the next couple days, but I will still be sure to continue uploading videos regularly, I promise. Yeah, until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab, signing out. Peace, y'all.